a brand new day, and welcome to Football 101 College Football Preview 2023. That's right, I am your host, The Beetle. Yes, a former college football player for the Miami University in Ohio. You see my hat here, alumni. I graduated in 1980. Played football for the Miami football at that time. Different name, but is not call them the Red Hawks now. But 1980, former football player, defensive back. Letter back in my number. I even pulled out a replica of my jersey 8, playing back in the day. So this is my first college football report, and I said after all these years, I need to do a college football review. I do the NFL review, but why not the college football review? And of course, I'm going to show some allegiance to my own university, but I'm going to try to break it down, the highlights, and try to be as objective as possible. You know how it's much more difficult to be objective in college because everyone has their favorite colleges and preferences for the universities that they attended and want them to do so well. But I was fortunate to play the game for not just in college, but in high school and leading to there, and middle school and elementary school. But in college, I was very fortunate, being the smallest guy on the field, to ladder and to make the team. One thing, to be on the scout team. Yep, the Beetle was on the scout team, and enjoy all those, the 2.5 year experience of walking onto the team and making a difference with my teammates and the coaches. Give me opportunity. Shout out to all my former teammates and my former coaches. Loved MU. Loved that experience to the highest. It was the best experience for the Beetle. So still much props to Miami University, Oxford, Ohio. Red Hawks in the MAC. So yes, I'm a very proud alumni. And now I want to do a college preview of the conferences. So let's get right to it. Starting with the ACC. The ACC. There's predicted orders of finish. And the ACC consists of teams like Florida State, Clemson, North Carolina, Miami, Florida, Duke, Pittsburgh, Louisville, NC State, Wake Forest, Syracuse, Georgia Tech, Virginia Tech, Boston College, and Virginia. Well, the Beetle predicts Florida State. Yeah, I'm in agreement with Florida State is stacked with talent. And I believe the head coach has things moving in the right direction with Florida State. So I'm predicting Florida State to really elevate and actually be in the contention for the national championship. They're that good. What I hear from my sources and everything, Florida State is the real deal. And then I predict Clemson coming in second. Dabo Swinney, he'll get his boys back together to elevate another level. So give the props to Dabo Swinney and Clemson. I'm predicting North Carolina 3 as well. And don't count out, don't count out NC State. They have them predicted as low as 8. I think, even though they're young, they lost their starting quarterback through the portal system, unfortunately. But I don't count out NC State and Dave Durham and the folks at NC State. They're gonna surprise a lot of folks in the ACC. And a quick shout out to the Syracuse. Oh man! I recently saw the ACC network, and they're going around the different training camps. And the head coach for Syracuse, he brought in some well-known offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator, really shaking up his team. They really need it. They finished 7-5 last year, and then 3-5 in the conference. But he needs another boost to elevate his team. So Syracuse is rated, projected to be 10. I think they're going to project to be around about 6 or 7. Syracuse is very talented. They brought in some key coaches He needed some help. So I'm predicting Florida State to win the ACC without a doubt. Let's move on to the. I'm just going in from the A's to the and we're going to end up with the SEC. By the way, yeah, I'm going to end up with the SEC. So the next conference, the American Conference, I'm predicting. And everyone's predicting Tulane. I'm predicting Tulane to win this conference. The American Conference consists of Tulane, UTSA, SMU, Memphis, East Carolina, Florida Atlantic, North Texas, Temple, Navy, Tulsa, UAB, Rice, USC, and Charlotte. Now, there's been some new teams brought into the American Conference because a couple of other teams left the American Conference, namely UC, University of Cincinnati, and another team, which I'm going to get to. They left. Houston left. So Tulane still looks good, and I'm predicting Tulane to do well. Again, there's other competitive teams. UTSA. Now, I did see UTSA last year. They're a high-powered team, and predict them to do well. SMU. They're predicting SMU to come in third. They're a high-powered Texan team, and I predict them. Memphis is always well. East Carolina University, ECU. I'm predicting them to be in the bunch, somewhere in the middle. Again, they're fortunate. It's fortunate that they have a slew of new, not as talented teams into the American Conference. So this conference is solid, but it doesn't consist of. Let me just be real. Let me just tell the Beatles going to break it down. Okay, I'm not going to I'm not going to sugarcoat these things. The American Conference have the second or third tier talented players. Not much. It's going to be competitive. These games are going to be competitive, no doubt. But it is the second and third tier teams when comparing to the national level teams, the SEC and the ACC. So these are the second and third tier teams. So again, Tulane is projected to win. I think they're going to win the American Conference as well. And I'll leave it like that. I'll leave it like that. Next, the Big 12. The Big 12. So much shakeup in the college. Talking about changeover. Teams are leaving right and left, and the Big 12 is taking a big hit. Now, because Texas and Oklahoma will be leaving the Big 12 after this year. But for this year, the Big 12 consists of Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas State, TCU, Texas Tech, Kansas, Baylor, Oklahoma State, UCF, Iowa State, BYU, Houston, Cincinnati, and West Virginia. Houston and Cincinnati are the two other new teams, as well as BYU. And so, but they're projecting Texas. I'm projecting Texas. I used to live in Houston, Texas from 1988 to 1990. And University of Texas are turning around, and they're a powerhouse team. As well as Oklahoma with the still second-year coach there. He's trying to get things in order. He came from Clemson. He's trying to get things in order. They will be Kansas State. Powerhouse team. They're exceptional. TCU always bringing it. Texas Tech, the Red Raiders. I love the Red Raiders, what they bring. Kansas surprised a lot of folks last year. They're elevating. Baylor is always strong and always predictable. UCF is still getting acclimated. Will get acclimated to the Big 12. I predict Houston and Cincinnati will get acclimated as well. They lost their coach. Cincinnati lost their coach. Houston is on their coach is on the he's on the chopping block at Houston. And I used to like I said, I used to live in Houston, Texas, and I used to teach at University of Houston. So Houston, they don't play. If the coach there doesn't turn it around fast, he's gone. So again, it's a tough year for my Houston Cougars in the Big 12. They'll probably give him this year and another year, but he has to change things around. So look for Texas to win the Big 12. Texas to win the Big 12. Next, the Big 10. The Big 10. Yes, the Beatles from Ohio, and traditionally I always had selected Ohio State. But this year, the Big 10, and let me just give you an update, the Big 10 is changing too. Big Ten consists of Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State, Maryland, Michigan State, Rutgers, Indiana, Wisconsin, Iowa, Minnesota, Illinois, Nebraska, Purdue, and Northwestern. Next year, the Big Ten will include USC and UCLA, another Pac-12 team. I forget which one right now, but they've included several. Oregon is joined, as well as Washington will join the Big Ten next year. Go figure. It's all about money. It's all about Big Ten. It's all about big college money. So, but this year, I'm predicting that you're going to have to, I'm going to say this as a Buckeye, I'm going to say this, the Michigan Wolverines will win the Big Ten Conference. Ohio State's talented, but what I saw in the Big Ten, and I actually tuned in on the Big Ten Network, Big Ten Media Week, and heard Harbaugh give it, as well as Brian Day, and all the coaches give their speech, give their overview of their team, and I was very impressed with the Michigan team, way Harbaugh expressed it. But really, the players that represented Michigan, they're so talented. So I'm not going to yell this out, but I wouldn't be surprised if Michigan take it to Ohio State. They're just so talented. And I just think Ohio State is still kind of wavering right now. And the recruiting and the transfer portal is affecting them in a different way. So watch for Ohio State to kind of meander a little bit. Watch for Penn State to come right on their tails. I was very impressed. One team I was very impressed. Maryland has elevated completely. Give the head coach, great talent. He really feeds into what the players like. And Maryland has the younger brother of Tua. I can't pronounce his first name, but the brother of Tua from the Dolphins is a quarterback for Maryland. This is his third year, I believe, his third year at Maryland. He's elevating. Michigan State, I don't know about Michigan. Michigan State was up and down. I can't believe this is in the Eastern Division. Yes, let me just say that. Then the Western Division, Wisconsin, with the new coach Luke Fickell. Luke Fickell coming from the UC Bearcats. Really just love Luke Fickell. He's a player's coach. He gets in your face. He has fun. So watch out for Wisconsin. Iowa's there. Minnesota. Oh, Minnesota's in some struggle. Illinois, Nebraska, Matt Rule at Nebraska. New coach for Nebraska. Now, Matt Rule will change things. Watch out for Nebraska. They're going to surprise a lot of folks. He lost some already recruits because of his style. Matt Rule coming from the professional NFL, from the Panthers, being fired from the Panthers last year. But now he's in college. Watch out for Matt Rule in Nebraska. Purdue is on a downward slide. The coach left, went to Louisville. And then Northwestern. Wow, a disaster that happened at Northwestern. And Coach Fitzpatrick and the abuse that's been documented, unfortunately. Northwestern just nosediving. And watch out there. They have a acting coach, but the name that's coming up to be permanent coach is actually I'm almost there. I'll remember a little bit later. But he was a coach in college as well, and his dad used to coach the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. And so watch out. Northwestern is just in a bad situation. They put it upon themselves again. So that's the Big Ten. Let me move on. I'll think of it. I'll get to it. The MAC. We have Eastern Division and the Western Division. Miami University, Miami, the Redhawks, Miami University, Ohio U, Buffalo, Bowling Green, Akron, Kent State, and then Toledo, Eastern Michigan, Northern Illinois, Central Michigan, Ball State, and Western Michigan. I'm predicting Miami University winning the Eastern Division. They have Gabbert coming back for his final year. I thought he was in the transfer portal. by the end of the year, but apparently he's back. And I get all the I follow them on Twitter. I follow them, on their feed, and they're hyped up. They got great talent. Matter of fact, one of their players I just saw on one of the teams, NFL teams. They get quality athletes there. It's just that now the head coach, he's been there for what, 6 years. He's a scrappy guy. The head coach, he came from the East Coast, from the was it New Jersey, and he's just a scrappy coach. And give him props to it. He somehow elevates the team by the end of the season. Again, Miami Redhawks will be there with their new facilities, and they also Hall of Fame coaches from the LA Rams. He was just given his statue at MU Stadium. Excuse me. So there you go, Miami University, Ohio U. There's no way I was going to pick Ohio U to win the East Division. No way. They're still our arch enemy. MU versus Ohio U. The Bobcats. No way. But MU going to win that East Division. And watch out to Toledo Rockets and Eastern Michigan. They're two hot teams. Really like Toledo Rockets and really like Eastern Michigan. They have some very good talent there. New talent. They're elevating. Now moving on to the very quickly, the Mountain West Conference consists of Boise State, Air Force, Fresno State, San Diego State, San Jose, Wyoming, UNLV, Utah State, Colorado State, Hawaii, Nevada, and New Mexico. And I'm predicting Boise State, they always elevating. I do like Air Force. Air Force is a high-powered team. As Wyoming is on the downwards, teams caught up with Wyoming. They're no longer in the powerhouse. I do like San Diego State, but give it to Boise State winning the Mountain West. Next, Pac-12. Here we are with USC, Washington, Utah, Oregon State, UCLA, Washington State, Arizona, California, Colorado, Arizona State, and Stanford. As a matter of fact, Colorado is leaving the Pac-12, and they're moving to the Big 12. The Big 12 with Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders really shaking things up, bringing in a completely new team. But give me predicted USC. They're going to win. I really love the USC, and they just know how to recruit. We used to live in LA for 1 year, and it was always fascinating to see USC do their thing. So shout out to USC and their Heisman Trophy, more than likely Heisman Trophy winner, quarterback. He's an outstanding athlete. And so the Pac-12 with USC, Washington right on the heels, and I still like UCLA with their head coach. They're high powered, and they're going to make some noise. So now I'm 18 minutes in. Let me get to the final conference. Here we go. The SEC. That's right, the SEC. And wow, the Eastern Division: Georgia, Tennessee, Kentucky, South Carolina, Florida, Missouri, Vanderbilt. Western Division: Alabama, LSU, Texas A&M, Ole Miss, Arkansas, Mississippi State, and Auburn. Wow, this SEC conference, bar none. And I have to admit, from being raised in Ohio, now living in North Carolina, I can get a sense that the SEC has so many talented athletes, so many talented teams. And yes, the two-time winner, national champion, Georgia, is trying to be a three-peat. Wow, Kirby Smart. I saw the SEC Media Week. Kirby Smart says all the right things. He has elevated this program to a completely different level. He takes advantage of the transfer portal. Their players are being drafted number one, in the top level, first, number one first rounders. They're so talented, and I do not see a drop off with the Georgia Bulldogs. They're going to win. And secondly, in the Eastern Division, I give props to Tennessee. Tennessee is going to be right there. Even though they have their coach. I love it was his third year coach of Tennessee, and I think they'll settle down their quarterback. He's a very nice kid at Tennessee. Kentucky, I don't know about it. They projected to be third. I see South Carolina ahead of Kentucky. I see Florida struggling. And then there's Missouri and Vanderbilt all struggling. Then in Western, Alabama is projected to be number. I'm predicting in the SEC West that LSU will overcome, yes, Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide. It's time for Kelly and LSU. He's recruited so well. The coach for LSU recruited so well, coming from Notre Dame. He's changed the culture. He's changed the culture, but he's been a part of the culture of LSU. And he's getting some major talent at LSU. So I'm projecting that they're going to take the Western Division over Bama. Right there behind them, Texas A&M is elevating. Again, I don't know to what degree Texas A&M will elevate, how far, but they're going to elevate. Then we have, there's projected to be Ole Miss next. I like Arkansas next. I used to live in Arkansas. We lived in Arkansas for 1 year. Go Hogs, and actually attended one of their games. Arkansas, go Hogs. And soo-wee. I said it, soo-wee. For Arkansas Razorbacks. Oh, man, they really love their football in Arkansas. They're projected to be fifth. I think they'll project to be third, tied for third, right there. And then Mississippi State will struggle because, again, they lost their coach. And really sad to hear, Mike Leach. But their new coach is a young coach. He's going to bring them through. And Auburn, Auburn with their new coach, he turns around teams so fast. And their coach, Hugh Freeze, he's going to create. He's already won the fans over. He won the alumni over. He's even won Paul Feinbaum. Paul Feinbaum, Mr. SEC. He won Paul Feinbaum over instantly. So I know Auburn will do a fantastic job and surprise a lot of folks in the West Division of the SEC. So without a doubt, the SEC is stacked with talent. That's right. SEC is stacked with talent. And let me just say, the national champions will come from will be in the national championship game, come from the SEC. And everyone's projecting Georgia to three-peat. Yet, I'm not going to go that far right now. I'll do a show a little bit later to give my projected winner. But Georgia is well on its way. The biggest surprise in the SEC, whether Alabama will return to their championship status. And again, I saw Nick Saban during the SEC Media Week. He was very traditional, very standard, the Nick Saban response. I really like Sam Pittman's response at University of Arkansas head coach. He's just lovable. He's real, yet he's authentic. So watch out for Arkansas Razorbacks. But again, I was most impressed by Kirby Smart. He is a businessman. He is a motivator, but he's really a businessman. He's changed that culture of Georgia Bulldogs, and give him all props. It's a new day in the SEC. No doubt about it. It's a new day in the SEC. And watch out for those Georgia Bulldogs to pull it through again in the SEC. So there you go. This is the Beatles complete preview. And I'm just looking at a preview of college football. This is the first show of Football 101 on college football. I'm a former college football player myself, the Beatle, back in the day, 1980, doing my thing. Yes, being proud as a walk-on and a scout team player, and then eventually seeing action in a couple of the games by my senior year. So yes, I'm a very proud Miami University Red Hawk. And we just bringing it in our first college preview. What do you think? Please like and subscribe. Which college team do you think will take your conference champion? Yes, I want to hear from each and every conference followers, fans, supporters, alumni. I'm an alumni. I want to hear from the alumni, not just students going to the colleges. I want to hear from the alumni. What do you think about your particular college? Where will they fit? Where will they finish in their conference? Of all the conferences the major conferences that I highlighted, where would they fit? Give me some feedback so we can have a nice, fun dialogue. Because I know college fans, college supporters, alumni are passionate about your team, and you should be, like I am about you. So let's do this all season, all season long. Let's do this, and let's find out who's going to be number one in your conference, and who's going to end up being number one college champion for 2023. This is the Beto. This is Football 101 College Football Preview. Let's do this.